What's up, Anomalies? My name is DecoyZ, and if you did not know, Mojang has been promising us some updates to some biomes. Now, every update there's like a biome choosing poll, where you can choose one of 3 biomes to get updated. However, they always said that they will be updating every biome, but the biomes that won will be updated first. But they have a lot of biomes that they have not updated yet, so a lot of people have been wondering, where the hell are the biomes? And, King... what's his name? King B Dogs, that's his name apparently. Sorry, I had to look it up on Twitter and then I got, fucking Twitter. I fucking hate Twitter, holy shit. Anyway, so today we're going to be working on 1.17. Now, King B Dogs, stated and posted on Twitter about boss fights. He said, what makes boss fights good and what makes boss fights bad? What would you change about them? And I posted it on it myself. But here's the thing about it, is that why is he asking about boss fight updates? And I thought, well, biome starts with a B, and so do boss fights, and they rhyme. So I think 1.17 might be the boss and biome update. That could be pretty interesting. And so that's what we're going to be doing. We are going to be updating every biome that they have promised to update, and then we're going to be updating every boss fight. So I hope you come along with me on this journey. The first biome we have to update is the swamp. So what's the problem with the current swamp? Well, it's boring, it's difficult to navigate, and it has a lack of creativity in it. So, what are we going to have with the new swamp? Well, there's going to be 3 different subtypes of swamp. We have the mudlands, the weeping plains, and the broken swamp. The mudlands are just as you think. They have the new mud block. Mud blocks are slippery, like ice, but they also slow you down like soul sand, which is realistic. This mud block has gravity, but when you put the mud block away from any kind of water source, and there's no water source within 8 blocks of it, it will turn into caked dirt, which will not have any gravity. The mudlands will be very flat, with very little hills or bumps or anything, mainly made of mud blocks, and will have small pools of water to keep the mud going. Frogs exist here, and this is where frogs will be. They'll be kind of hidden inside of the mud, and they'll come out, and they'll just be cute, really. They won't really give you anything, but they'll just be cute. Weeping plains. So in this place we have weeping willow trees, which gives you a whole new type of wood, weeping wood. I think this could be a really interesting way of adding new wood, and it would be really cool. And weeping trees, weeping willows would be really tall, with a lot of leaves that would come down, a lot of vines, maybe some new leaf blocks or something. That could be really interesting to see. There'll be a lot of lilies, a lot of flowers, a lot of stuff around it. It'll be very flourishy and very beautiful to look at. And it also has the Coventry that will spawn inside of it. Now, we'll talk about the Coventry in a second, but now we have to talk about the Broken Swamp. It's basically just the old swamp, but renamed. But there are a little bit of differences. The small land with large shallow lakes, just like the normal one, but now we have swamptopuses, or swampti. And these are octopus, or octopi, that live in the swamp area and will transform and will actually become aggressive and can poison you upon contact. So you better be careful in that kind of area. Oh, also, you can get their ink sacs, which are poison sacs. Once you get a poison sac, you can actually poison any type of food. This can be used in multiple ways, but like in a multiplayer server, if you give poisoned food to someone else and they eat it, they get poisoned. Now we have to talk about the Coventry. The Coventry is basically a village, but with witches. You must have a potion effect on you to first enter the village, because if you don't, for the first time, they will attack you, all of them, at once with potions and all that crazy shit. But these witches are slightly different. They have a different design than the other witches, because they live together. They're not super evil, they're just very protective. Here are the 3 more important versions of witches. Just like how villagers have different work, studies, and all that, we have carpenters and map makers and all that, well, witches have the same thing. So we have a warrior witch. At low levels, when you first meet them, they'll fix durability on weapons, whether they fix half of it, a quarter of it, or make it full. You have to pay them, however. You can pay them with glowstone, netherwort, and netherite. Basically, glowstone is super easy to get for them, so it's, you have to give them a lot of glowstone for them to do the job. But if you give them netherwort, you have to give them less, and they'll do the job still. But if you give them a netherite scrap, they'll do the job instantly with no worries about it. But at high levels, once you've worked them up to mastery level, they will actually add durability to your weapons. Yes, they will add max durability. So let's say you've got that pog-ass netherite sword, but, it's still not durable enough. Well, come on down to the Carpentry where we will fix your weapons. But they won't only fix your weapons, they'll actually increase your maximum durability. Not by a lot, but it will actually make a difference. So you could use this several times, but it gets more expensive each time, but you could use this on stuff like gold tools, because gold tools are faster than diamond, and if you manage to increase their durability enough, you could create really good tools before netherite. And now we have the Warlock Witch, and this is my favorite one. Basically, what it will do is at low levels, they'll just reforge your enchantments. So, if you have a sword that has sharpness on it, but you want Bait of Arthropods for some reason, then you give it to her and she will redo your enchantment. Now, she can only do one enchantment. So, if you have multiple enchantments on the same sword, say goodbye to those multiple enchantments because she'll only give you back an enchantment with one. But at high level, now this is where it gets really good. At a high level, she can upgrade unupgradable enchantments. So you could have stuff like Flame 2, Protection 6, Mending 2, Sharpness 6, Depth Strider 4, and yes, it will be pretty expensive, and she can only upgrade it once. So you can't get Sharpness 8 or anything, but you can get Sharpness 6, and basically you can upgrade every enchant once. Yes, it costs a lot. It costs 1 netherite scrap per item. So if you get a max enchant item, I think it kind of works out. You put the effort in, you got the enchantments, you did the village trading, you did all of that, you got netherite, and now you want to upgrade it even more. And that's my favorite witch, but now we've got the Potioneer Witch. The Potioneer Witch at low levels will sell potions, but they won't be useful. Stuff like slowness, weakness, etc. But at high levels, she will sell you brand new potions that you cannot craft, like the Potion of Happiness. What this will do is if you throw it on an aggressive creature, it will no longer be aggressive towards you. This will last for about a minute to 2 minutes, depending on what level it is. But it's still pretty, useful. And fun fact, it won't work on creepers, because creepers aren't actually aggressive. They simply want to talk to you, and when they do end up coming close enough to you to talk, they get so nervous they explode. That's literally the official reason why they explode. Or we have growth. If you throw that onto a plant, it will grow extremely fast. But not just that plant. If you throw it on a block, that block will now be affected for a long time, and every plant that's planted on that block will grow really, really fast. And magic resistance. This gives you resistance against, well, magic. So, fire aspect, dragon's breath, all kinds of stuff, and I think it'll be pretty useful. And now we have the Badlands. Why are they bad? Why are the Badlands bad? I don't know, because they're moody. But they're not bad enough, I don't feel bad being in the Badlands, and there's also not enough stuff around. So, what are we going to add to the new Badlands? Vultures, which I know are going in deserts, but honestly I think vultures make more sense in the Badlands. Anyway, bandits and tumbleweed. So let's look at that. Vultures. Vultures spawn near or on cactuses, or cacti. They will circle around the player until the player gets to low health. Then the vultures will begin attacking them, trying to kill them. Once they take your items, they will take your items to the nest. You then have to get them back, and they will definitely attack you when you're near a nest, so be careful. Bandits. So there are pillager outposts, but now there are bandit outposts. Bandit outposts are smaller and less organized. So bandits can spawn with swords, crossbows, bows, and axes. Nothing else, nothing more. And there are 3 different types. We have small camps where there are 5 to 7 bandits that can spawn. The rewards is something like a golden block or a golden apple or something. Not exactly that, but kind of on that level of good. A medium camp has 11 to 16 bandits, and its rewards is around 3 to 6 diamonds. So you could get a diamond pickaxe and gold armor or something like that. And a large camp, 20 to 30 bandits, and its rewards are something like maybe 24 diamonds or an anvil or something like that. Something really good. Now, obviously, these bandits will have more health than pillagers because they have to live in this really wild place where they have to survive. So they definitely won't be easy kills. You'll have to have at least a diamond sword, maybe enchants on your iron armor to even think of going above a medium camp. Tumbleweed. They will spawn naturally and will begin to move in a random direction. Upon breaking it, one or two things may happen. One, it'll give you items. This can be anything from sticks to flowers to a stone to iron and chainmail armor. But the second thing is a little bit worse. It's a tumbleer, a creature that pretends to be a tumbleweed until hit. It will unfurl and then begin to attack you. Now let's update the desert, because the desert's really boring. Why? Nothing to do. And it's also bland, very bland. It's not a bad biome. I don't mind going through deserts. I think deserts are actually one of the more interesting biomes, but that doesn't mean that they're not bland, right? You can be interesting, but also bland at the same time. It's a bit hard to explain, but my brain works better than your brain, so obviously I'm right and you're wrong. Or maybe it's the other way around, who knows? So what are we going to be adding to the new desert? Well, we're going to be adding a more interesting way to maneuver and more interesting ideas. So we have the palm trees, the oasis, and we have heat. Let's take a look at what we got here. Palm trees. Palm trees are palm trees. Nothing too much to say unless it's a new wood type, but I don't think they'll do that for palm trees. Maybe. Actually, they might do that for palm trees, but I don't really know. Oases. Now, oases are interesting because they're rare structures that spawn small pools of crystal clear water. But here's the thing. If you get a bottle of it, instead of it saying a water bottle, it's a fresh water bottle. And drinking a fresh water bottle will heal you 2.5 hunger bars. Because it's just, that fucking good. It'll also give you a new status effect, Refreshed, which will give you a small boost. A small boost in what? In everything. Imagine having 0.5 of everything. So 0.5 haste, 0.5 jump boost, 0.5 resistance, 0.5 fire resistance. You know, you got all of that. So basically you've got everything, but just not actually it. It's kind of a small boost, right? And of course we have hot sand. When sand is exposed to direct sunlight for more than 2 minutes, it becomes hot. When it is hot, it'll give off these kind of invisible half opacity particles that will show it's heating up. When you're standing on hot sand, you will take half a heart of damage every second. You can only walk on sand when wearing boots. So if you're not wearing boots, stinky. Mountains. What makes mountains boring? There's nothing to do and there's no mobs on the mountains. You know, they seem pretty interesting, but there's still nothing to do on them, and there's nothing new, really, no mobs. So we're going to be adding the goat and snowier snow. The goat is a goat. I actually can't think of anything interesting the goat can do besides it being a new rideable that has a lot of health, so you can fall down things with it, maybe. But besides that, I don't know. Or possibly, maybe goats can climb up like 2 high blocks or 3 high blocks, because goats are pretty famous for just not being able to fall. So, I don't know. And snowier snow. And the cold. When walking through snow, you'll be slowed down. And there's going to be a new enchant, Heated. This enchant will melt all of the snow around you. Now, mind you, it will only melt the snow if it is snowing. So, if you have snow at your house, it will not melt it unless it is snowing at your house, right? It'll only heat up when you get cold. And now, unless you have the leather, like full leather, or the heated enchantment, you will not take cold. You will take cold damage. Sorry, I'm a dum-dum. Now let's do the savannah, which is a little bit odd. Why is it boring? I don't really know. It's not boring, but there's nothing to do there. Nothing interesting. It's not boring, but there's nothing special about it besides the wood type. So let's look at termites. Termites will slowly venture outwards over time, eating grass blocks and building their giant nest. If they reach wood, they'll slowly destroy it, so be careful and make sure you get termites out. Here's an afterthought that I've had about termites, is that if their nest gets big enough, they could spawn some kind of termite boss, or a mother termite. That could be an interesting mob that could drop something. So there's an incentive to let termites grow and have a giant big nest without just destroying them because they're annoying. Ostriches. Ostriches will be the perfect rideable animal. Tamed using leaves and seeds, they'll be faster than any horse. They can jump higher and they'll fall slower. But they have much less health, and when damaged they will run away and knock you off. And they also refuse to be ridden in the nether. So any fast movements will not be done in the nether, because it's scared. Alright, we finally come to the bit where we're going to be doing boss fights. So let's look at the Ender Dragon. Why is the Ender Dragon bad as a boss fight? Well, it's predictable, it's boring, and it throws out bullshit attacks that instantly kill you to make it difficult. So, what are we going to be adding to make it better? Well, we're going to be adding new attacks, because new attacks are fucking pog. I think it'll have some kind of circular, spherical blast of dragon breath. That could be interesting. It flies by you and explodes, and it sends you flying. And also, a teleport attack. It'll be going right for you, diving into your face, and then all of a sudden it'll glow purple and disappear, appearing right behind you and attacking you from the other side. That'd be pretty interesting. And it would also create streams of energy at random places around the end island that will levitate you upwards. I think because, you know, shulkers can levitate, and there's nothing really else for the dragon to eat besides Enderman, which is why she can teleport, and shulkers, which is why she can make stuff levitate. I mean, it just makes sense, like, lore-wise. I don't know why they haven't done that already. And we should also make a new way of fighting her. So after destroying the pillars, the dragon will now chase you. She won't just go around in circles and then end up in the middle where you can hit her. She will actively try and kill you. She'll attempt to knock you off the island with knockback attacks, but you can hit the dragon away, either with your sword extremely precisely, or with a bow and arrow. The dragon will naturally rest on one of the towers, so one of the obsidian towers. This, you know, makes you kind of change your tactic. It's no longer wait for them to land in the center, attack them in the center. It's, hey, let's see where she's going to land and react that way. Also, when you respawn the Ender Dragon for the second Ender Dragon fight, it will have more HP and it will be more difficult of a fight just because, you know, it's more of an incentive because, bleh. The Wither! So why is it exploitable? It's just exploitable because it's not too hard. It's not that hard. So, to get rid of all this tunneling cheese, here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making it far more powerful. It can destroy so many blocks so quickly. It can destroy obsidian. Now, you may be saying, Devin, there's no way they'll do that. I think that's the only way that they'll be able to make the Wither good. Have it destroy every single block besides bedrock. It has a radius explosion, so it can destroy all the blocks near it, so you don't have to fucking worry about being trapped in this small little space. If it's spawned underground, it will attempt to go up into the surface to destroy more nature, because it's a force of destruction. Why would it stay in the ground? I don't understand. It'll also spawn wither skeletons in waves, so you have to deal with that while you deal with the wither. The wither should be this big fucking deal. You should have to... It can also turn blocks into sand, so it slows you down slightly. Poggers. So it can break your hallways now. It will always attempt to destroy nature, so it will always go up, and will attempt to reach the surface. It will spawn waves to make the fight harder. And, I don't know if you should, but there's a little bit of extra where the Wither should only be spawned in the Nether, and cannot be spawned in the Overworld. Maybe not. Maybe they shouldn't do that, but that could be an interesting way of, you know, fixing it. And then we have the Elder Guardian, which I didn't even know was a boss. I mean, it's limited, it's weak. Just give it new attacks, make the Ocean Temple a little bit bigger, make it more spacious, allow it to get out. I don't know. Never really cared for that boss, so I don't really know what to put on it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This video is far too fucking long. Holy shit. I'm about to die. I don't want to edit this. This is so much editing. Please help me. Please, God, help me. Please. Subscribe if you want to become an anomaly. Don't subscribe if you don't want to become an anomaly, but then you're mean. You don't want to be mean now, do you? That's what I thought.